Yeah, first things first, I want to thank me for participating in the anti-finance demos because we cannot be telling MPs what to do and then they go ahead and get paid to do exactly the opposite. So we've seen the president ameleta some suggestion of having a multilateral and whatever committee to discuss the issues of the youth. So we are not electing people to go and represent us. Hiyo ndio kitu ya kwanza mtukufu rais should know. We are not electing people to go and represent us. The revolution has no leadership. The revolution is tribeless and the revolution is fearless. So zile agendas or whatever we might need, it is all over the internet. So it's the high time you put your NIS cabal into use. Wakuje wa analyze everything that is online, then they can now bring you the report. So first things first, on our demands, we want you to reconstitute the IEBC within 30 days. You have an ultimatum to reconstitute the IEBC within 30 days. Kwa sababu, we need to recall the rogue MPs. We need to call them back to the drawing board. And the IEBC at its state, it is being used as a threatening tool to all the MPs so that they can do whatever you want. Kwa sababu, at the moment, we cannot go to elections because of the disabled IEBC that we have in this country at the moment. The next thing we want is abolishment of the office of the First Lady, the Second Lady, and the office of the spouse to the Prime Cabinet Secretary. In fact, what does that help? Hiyo ofisi ya Prime Cabinet Secretary, the spouse, inasaidia Wakenya. So we need these three offices which are slashing millions of the budget, of the coffers of this country, to be abolished. The next thing, we need a detailed audit of the national debt. Kwa sababu hatuwezi kuwa na conversation tu ya the debt is being paid, the debt is being paid. Ni deni gani inalipwa na ipungui? Ni deni gani inalipwa na ipungui? So we need an audit of that debt so that we know where we are and what we need to do to get somewhere. Kwa sababu deni haiwezi kuwa inaongezeka na inalipwa. It is very there is something very fishy in there. So the next thing tunataka ni all the government officials and more so your ministers who have criminal records should be sacked. When we are starting with Mythical Inturi, you cannot be a champion for food security when your minister is supplying soy to farmers. It's completely uncalled for. So we want you to sack Mythical Inturi and a few other incompetent CSs, like the health one, Nakomicha, should be sacked as well. We are saying the health has been a disaster since she took office. It's a disaster. So huyo tunataka kwanza atoke. Those two, among others. So we also want you to drop all the IMF and World Bank economic policies. We can think for ourselves. We have brains. We have professors in this country. Why do we have to rely on IMF for economic solutions? And that is why we were rejecting this finance bill, because it is as a result of IMF and the World Bank. Their influence is so deeply rooted in our country, so that they can do anything and they can impose illegal taxes on the people of Kenya. It is very uncalled for. Okay? And after that, we might also need to look at capping of MPs' salaries. We might need to reduce their salaries because those guys have proven themselves to be very useless fellas. Some of them are very useless. And why are we paying them so much money? Let's pay that money to JSS teachers for permanent pensionable. They're educating our kids. Let us pay the intern doctors with that money. An MP cannot be working only for 3 days, and then they are bagging money that is extravagant. Their benefits are extravagant. They should be capped. So, and all government trips, all government officials should be carried out using government facilities and government infrastructures. If there's a government trip and government officials are moving somewhere, let them use Kenya Airways. Let them use SGR. Let them use government choppers. Why are we creating opportunities to loot by giving fellas who have not who are within the circles of the circles of wash, giving them money? Let us use government infrastructure to transport and to hold state meetings. That is the only way we can promote the local industry. So, among those other things, just dig through the internet. One, see, you have NIS, uko na NIS, dig through the internet. You get our ultimatums. So don't try to buy some few fellas here and there, and then come and tell us that we have resolved the issues of the youth, and this is what we have agreed on. So it is very uncalled for. Wewe ukitaka mkutano, just come to the internet. We shall have an online meeting. In fact, the logistics to come to you are not even affordable for youth of this country. So those are our ultimatums. Na kitu ya kwanza kabisa, we want you to reconstitute the IEBC. That is a non-negotiable, it's an irreducible minimum, the IEBC, to deal na wabunge kwanza.